and the legends of our beloved motherland Ghana. With me is a master of his game, Tommy Annan Forson, broadcast legend, media trainer, an inspirational leader who has taught, trained, and helped many succeed in broadcasting. I want to ask Tommy now, many people have learned from you, not even being close to you, but some learned under you, working with you. Do you want us to go into that story?
Absolutely. I remember the very first time I started Joy FM.
You remember the year?
It was the 1st of May, 1995.
Whoa.
And those days it was at a Yangote. You know, you had to drive all that way. But again, it was such a thing for me because you actually, Kwesi Chung gave you the platform to explode. You know, unlike GBC or in a straight jacket. And it gave me the chance to say, now I'm going to show the world who I am. And I'm going to help people who want to learn from me. And so I remember Dorinando coming to look for a job, Kofi Kombilson, Marco Kreku Mante. Let me rephrase, Honorable Kreku Mante, Komla Dumont of blessed memory.
They all came to look for jobs with you?
Joe Diggy. And in fact, with Komla, it was amazing because he started as the traffic person, you know.
He was in traffic, reporting the traffic jams and all that.
You know.
So he was falling into your program?
Exactly. You know, and one day I said, Komla, why don't you become a presenter? And for him, his thought process was, because where Tommy has gotten to, he doesn't seem to be able to want to fit into my shoes. And I said, look, Komla, my shoes are 9. You cannot fit into them anyway because your feet are bigger. So let's go. But there was a time I set a trap for him. And we were then, Gabi Ajete and Dorinando were going to Celebrity Golf Club. And so Komla and myself were going to be behind the console. And there were times where I would put Komla behind the console. I said, okay, control it this way, do it that way. I mean, his fingers were shaking, but eventually he got over it. So Saturday, I was supposed to be in the program was supposed to start at 1. And I called Komla, and I said, Komla, are you in the studio? He said, yes. I've selected songs and what have you. Please hurry up, we're waiting for you. I said, oh, unfortunately, I have to travel to Takrady. So you're going to have to do the program.
But you were in Accra.
Exactly.
I know.
You know. And that is how, look, you've done it before. You take people by surprise. You get them, you either have the confidence or you flop.
You remind me of when I asked one of my production assistants, Johnny Hughes. I bought him a suit from London, his shirt, his tie, his shoes. He knew he was a production assistant on the Republic Day special. The guests were there and everything was ready. I said, help me get dressed up. And I said, now you also change into this. He says, oh, but boss, I'm the production assistant. I'm already well dressed. I said, no, you're the presenter today.
Oh, my
goodness. He hosted the show on that day. And that is how Johnny started his career on television.
He's just a brilliant...
Johnny Hughes.
He's a brilliant guy. I just love him to be. He's brilliant. So back to the story. Komla said, but boss, I can't, Komla, you can do it. You either do it, make it or break it. It's up to you. I'm going to Takrady. Bye-bye. I didn't go anywhere, like you rightly said. I stayed at home. And then Monday, when I came to do the program, it's like, where's Komla? I don't see him today. He was dodging.
Why, he thought you were going to criticize?
And eventually, when I finished at 9, I went behind Joy FM studios, and there he was, sitting in a corner, quiet, you know. And he's like, oh, God, this man is going to kill me today. I said, boss, how did I do? I said, but I told you I was traveling to Takrady.
So I didn't listen.
I didn't listen. Then he did the sign of the cross. I said, oh boy, Komla. On the contrary, you did a brilliant job. I didn't go to Takrady. I didn't travel. I was listening to you. I wanted to find out how you bring out your talents. Handling the console alone. Excuse me. And he said, boss, so you mean you didn't travel? I said, no, but you did a brilliant job. You did fantastic. I mean, it was you, Komla Dumont. And that was how I started Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Super Morning Show. And he would do Tuesday and Thursday until I left. And then he became a huge success. Dorinando too, the same thing. Kofi Kombilson, Joe Diggy, you know. And this is just funny to me. Joe Diggy, we closed at 1 those days, and I wrote a script. I said, we are closing down until 1 a.m. Until 4 a.m., whatever it is. I'm listening to Joe Diggy. Says, oh, this is J FM. I said, in the house, I said, oh, my goodness, J FM. Then he came back, and I think he got confused. He said, this is Joyce FM. I said, oh, good. We are now closing down our transmission until 4 a.m., so please stay tuned.
Hey!
How do you stay tuned to a station that has closed down?
You listen to shh.
That was all. You know, but this was a learning process for everybody, and I showed them what to say, how to say, and like GBC, we had to script.
Exactly.
And I'd make sure that you script everything from your
Why don't the young ones like to script?
They don't want to learn.
Mike Egan told me something.
You know,
he had left GBC, but he would invite me over and speak with me, the magnificent emperor, as we call him. And I hold him in such high esteem.
You have no idea.
You know. And Mike Egan told me something. He says, the reason why it helps to write is it helps you put your thoughts together. And when you write and you read it, you can see the words that are out of place. Now, after you have written, now you must learn not to read the script, but to talk the script. And that's another ball game altogether. So even though Mike Egan was no longer with GBC, he is one of those mentors who were like my shepherds, watching me from up above, wherever he was. Then there was my uncle A.V. Obing, Anthony Victor Obing, whose younger brother is Uncle P.V. Obing, who would call me and say, brilliant stuff you did on radio yesterday, but 50% useless because you were talking above your audience. You need to discuss matters that relate with the audience. Don't go and pull some matters which are topical elsewhere in the world that the audience cannot relate with. Fantastic. So that was another shepherd of mine guiding me from high above. So you were playing a shepherd, guiding all these presenters from up above, but you were right there with them. Always, always. I remember Mike Egan interviewed me, and I cannot imagine Mike Egan interviewing me. I mean, he's larger than life. He is larger than life. You see Mike, you see a broadcaster. And yet the respect he gave me that day, I felt, I don't know what to say, KKD. I felt so elated that Mike could say these things about me. And like you are doing to me, like it's like you make your head swell, but with respect. But you deserve everything that you're having. KKD. You deserve everything you're getting because, Tommy, you have played your role, you have paid your dues. We have done our best, you know. And so when he interviewed me and I finished, he gave me a citation. And today, I have that citation in my house. And I read, I said, this was signed by Mike Egan. And I remember, I wasn't there at the time, but if you were playing a song that was not suitable for air, Mike Egan would just walk in the studio and lift the stylus. Now you have to ad-lib. How do you ad-lib? And he tells you to change the song. That was the kind of person that he was. So he made you know that broadcasting is an important job. You're communicating with people. You're talking to people. You're talking your scripts. You're with them wherever they are in their cars. Now, Tommy, I must say, look at the beautiful handmade African print shirt you're wearing, buttoned all the way up. 1957 KOD. Beautiful, beautifully buttoned up, with a bow of respect to the program you're coming on. This is one of the things I also learned from Mike Egan. Mike Egan, always impeccably dressed. Oh, my goodness. You know, he's like, well, you could see your face in his shoes, you know. Somebody goes to parliament, somebody is at the presidency, somebody is a doctor. You have a role to educate, inform, and entertain. So why do you look like you are not looking your best? And this is what I'm also telling all my team here and wherever I go, that in the media and culture sectors, that is where the best dressed people in the world are. That is where the best cultured people in the world are. Agofoma are in the culture sector. The hotel and hospitality sector are in the culture sector. Music and film is in the culture sector. And in the media, what we do is to educate, inform, and entertain. And if we cannot be well presented visually, then who are we?
Exactly. That's a very good point you've made. And sometimes, you know, you see certain presenters, it's like, come on, man, you've made a name. I think you should look better than this. This is not to say that perhaps they can afford everything in the world, but at least look like somebody who people listen to. And I always say that, look, once you turn on the microphone, you cut across.
From the president to the pauper.
You cut across. People learn from you. People listen to you. People learn education. People learn infotainment. People even learn how to look. Captain Smart always says, "Enye Tommy Anka," and then my name Ade LPM. He sees me and he bows down, virtually goes down. I say, "Captain, please get up." You see, and so if the young ones today are not prepared to learn, like the way Mike Egan taught people, the way
you have taught people.
Charles Asino, I don't know whether you remember
Charles
that
Asino,
name.
of course.
Oh,
of course.
Goodness.
Of course, Robert Owusu as well.
You know, and all these people. Then I would say that, look, you're either doing things because you think, I want a job. It's not a job you have to do. It's a job you want to do because you want to entertain, you want to educate, you want to inform people. But how many presenters today are well vested in national issues? Very, very few. Okay? You and I can sit here and talk about politics. I don't do politics. I do more of entertainment. You probably will do politics, but in your own style. But how many people today will talk about national issues and get people to understand what they are talking about? It's like, oh, me bonyum, and no. That's the end of it.
We are streaming live on Facebook at MyCTVGH, on Accra 100.5 FM, and on Class 91.3 FM. That's Facebook, MyCTVGH. That's MyCTVGH. And on YouTube at MyCTVGH, and live on radio at Class 91.3 FM. Chilling with a legend on Master of the Game. When we come back, more TAF right here on CTV.
Your election stronghold is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
The moment to choose between resets, upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you
Your election stronghold is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
the moment to choose between resets, upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you a comprehensive coverage.
And Class Media Group is your most reliable and trusted source to give you the best analysis.
We've put together a strong team of reporters across all constituencies to bring you the breaking news.
Experienced presenters for all the unbiased in-studio discussions with very knowledgeable experts.
Ababia yebenya edefe polling stations ahodwa ewo Ghana for na yebenya mre ni asone so krojen amemu ate ni de asome ni asone so krojen amemu ate ni de asomo
Anti ye di anibedi abato n'echi na ne ebepie wa bato no mu bia no yama mo hunu
Kaya ho ewa Accra 100.5 FM, Class 91.3 FM, CTV, Ghana's #1 television, and our classfmonline.com. Your affiliate stations are working which your Ghana have bia no on Sabekaye.
Abato mre etu. Sabe se hu abato no nsu sanso a. Koso follow Class Media Group. Your election strong group.
Hello, Ghana. My name is Dakwa, Kwesi Che Dakwa, and I'm delighted to tell you a beautiful story. For every young person in Ghana looking to work in radio, television, or online, this is a great opportunity for you. Welcome to Class Media Group. Class Media Group, with 1 TV station, 9 radio stations throughout the country, and 1 great online portal, is taking on new hires as interns. Interns to shadow great personalities and train for a job and career ahead. All you have to do is apply to this below. This goes straight to our head of human capital and culture. Whether you want to work in radio production, radio presenting, television production, television presenting, or working to write and post online, Class Media Group is the place to be. This is KKD. See you soon.
Hello, it's a whole brand new season of the Sudan TV show. My name is Odansini Odilia. We come your way this and every Thursday from 5 to 5:30 p.m. This new season, we are looking at solving issues concerning properties. So if you have bought a land and you are having issues, you bought a house, or you have any litigation issue concerning any property, come to us. And we are looking to sell properties on this very show. So if you are looking to buy a land, a house, or even to rent an apartment or a house, this is the show you have to watch. My name remains Odansini Odilia. Watch us this and every Thursday, 5 to 5:30 p.m. only on CTV.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
This Monday on Master of the Game, our special guest is Annan Forson, the king of country and mellow rock music. Oh my, the broadcasters go head to head. It's going to be smooth. Oh yes, the discerning audience tune in for the knowledge, insights, experience, and class. Enjoy Master of the Game. Distinguished personalities, leaders, achievers, captains of industry, innovators, masterful storytellers, creatives, and entertainers, all hosted by a Master of the Game. His Royal Blackness, King Kwesi Che Dakwa. Join the Master of the Game with special guest this Monday. Come and get the nuggets of wisdom. You will love it. Whether you love power, money, beauty, or fame, there is much to learn from Master of the Game, 10 a.m. to 12 midday. Only in the place to be, the coolest channel, CTV.
It's party time. I'm watching it there. Ola Bawo. As I introduce to you, Safari Zoom Flex live on Ghana's #1. With Zoom Flex, you can join the fun wherever you find yourself via Zoomer. Ella, don't shake the body. God, it's Friday. Of course, time is 10 p.m.
CTV, we're delighted to bring you Master of the Game. And the Master of the Game in the seat with me today is Annan Forson. Some people get their inspiration from strangers, some from the heavens, some from their parents, and some from their own siblings. There is a particular sibling of Annan Forson who himself is a Master of the Game, a great photographer, Mr. Gerald Annan Forson. How is he doing?
He's doing very well. You know, he's 77 now, so he's kind of like taking things easy. He does a couple of lectures at Legon, I think, with the photojournalism and stuff like that. But more or less, he's taking it easy. And you know, where we live is quite far, so if you don't have anything to do in town, forget about it. Just stay at home and enjoy your TV. I watch CTV a lot, and that's how I got to know about this particular program. And I've taken a lot of inspiration from him as well.
Would you be so kind as to invite him so
yeah,
we can
that would be
write
good.
to him for Master of the Game?
Yeah, that would be great.
Because his work in photojournalism must be known.
Because photography also speaks a language in pictures. Okay, so if he is able to tell people how it's done to communicate through pictures, not just movies, and I think it'll be a great thing to have him on the show.
Of the siblings and the cousins and the uncles and aunties you had, who was the most favorite?
Unfortunately, he passed on in 1989. That was my eldest brother, John. He passed away in 1989. But we were really, really close. And so when that happened, I was totally heartbroken. But that is not to say that I have one sister. She's amazing, Araba. She's just amazing. And Gerald has been, you know, a pillar of support as well. You know, so it's also helped shape my career by way of advice and stuff like that. But above all, is my sweetheart, you know, Nana Ejari. We call her NYA the brand.
NYA
yeah, the brand.
I like that.
You know, she's an actress. You know,
your wife.
A very, very good actress. Very, very beautiful.
Your wife.
My wife.
They say WIFE stands for Worries Invited Forever. So,
yeah, well.
Is she your worries?
No, I mean, come on, everybody.
She's actually your one that's invited
exactly.
forever.
You know, she's beautiful, very down to earth, very respectful, and she gives great advice. You know, she's helped a lot of people. So she's also been my huge pillar of support. You know, I have two kids. Well, I won't say kids now. By my previous marriage, Kevin, he's 45, and Roland is now 39. You know, and they've also been of great support. You know, so I've had, and I still have a wonderful family. I have a stepson, Ismon Finn Thompson, and he is a bookworm, mathematically inclined. And he's 6 feet.
He can go and write your O's for you.
I tell you, he's 6'3" at the age of 19.
Whoa.
6'3", and I don't think he has stopped growing yet.
You get along beautifully.
Fantastic. He's such a gentleman, very cool.
What do you think? Do stepfathers get along better with the children, or do stepmothers get along better with the children?
KKD, I think it cuts both ways.
Hold it. Now, if you can answer this question, please go to myctvgh on Facebook or on YouTube and give us your response. Do stepfathers get along better with the children, or do stepmothers get along better with the children? Send us your comments on myctvgh on Facebook and on YouTube. Back to you, Tommy.
Yeah, I think it cuts both ways. I think depending on the upbringing of the child, where the child came from, and how he or she would bond with the stepmother or the stepfather. And we all know that boys in particular are skewed towards the women, and the guys are skewed towards...
the girls are skewed towards the fathers.
You know, but then again, it's like a swing state. It can change. But I think it depends on how well you bond with them, the kind of advice, how you mold them, you know. But it's a natural thing to say that I don't like this boy or I don't like this girl. But it's something you have to nurture, because they also look up to you as a mother or as a father. And so you can get along pretty well. Like I get along with Ismon. Other people might do that. And it depends on how you show the child how to respect, not just in life, but human beings as well. Some people say, well, I don't want my child or my stepchild to go through what I went through. But you do not pamper them over and above what they are supposed to learn. And so that is what I do with my stepson. In fact, I even call him my son anyway. You know, we get along very well. He's extremely respectful, and I love him for that. You know, so it depends on how you look at the child and say, okay, look, maybe you had this kind of training at the beginning. Let's change it. Let's try and be a little more subtle when it comes to certain issues, you know, regarding growing up, regarding sex, regarding everything. If you have a very subtle approach and you get them to know that, look, even though you're not my biological son, I love you like my own, and I think we'll get along, and I'll help you be someone in future.
Please indulge me as I read this comment, which hasn't gone directly to my CTVGH, but has come directly to my phone. Please send your comments to my CTVGH on Facebook and on YouTube. It's MYCTVGH. But this one says, good morning, His Royal Blackness. Truly, every child can get along with every adult. It all comes down to which parent brought the child into the new household. Because if that parent tells the child to respect the other adult, they will. But if the parent continues to side with the child, even when the child is wrong, then they will alienate the other parent. What have you got to say to that?
I think it's a fantastic point. You know, like I said, it depends on the upbringing, where you got the child from, the age at which the child came into the new house. I mean, when Ismon came to join us, you know, he was hot, you know, jumping over tables and beds and stuff like that. Even my second son, Roland, it was like, Roland, get down. Roland, sit down. Roland, walk. You know, that kind of thing. But you see him today, he's cool. So I want to believe that when they are hot-headed from the beginning, they end up growing and becoming very cool. So it will depend on where the child came from, the age at which the child joined the step-parents, and the kind of training the step-parents will give to the child. Letting the child know that, look, you belong to us. We are going to help you. You are my son or my daughter, okay? I'm not going to take you as my step. But once you're in the house, you're my son or my daughter. And we will teach you how to respect others outside. If you want to see your biological father, if he or she is alive, that's fine. Okay? But if you also married a woman with a child already, you accept the child as your own. There will come a point where the child will say, I want to go and see my daddy. But when the child starts calling you, the stepfather, daddy, or the stepmother, mommy, you know that there's that bond there. And once it's there.
I have to read this. She says, Hi, His Royal Blackness. My stepfather was so good to me. My mother brought me into a marriage when I was only 2.5 years old. My father traveled and did not look back at us again. When it was time for me to marry, I chose my stepfather to be the one to walk me down the aisle. Some of my friends say I have not been fair to my biological father. But let's be honest, my stepfather is my father because he raised me from when I was a child.
Exactly.
What do you say to that?
And it's perfectly true. It happens that way. Once you're able to bring up the child from a certain tender age, get him to know that, you know, don't turn the child against your biological parents. Don't do that. Because there will come a time they will ask that question. Who is my biological father? I want to meet him and ask him certain questions. Why did you abandon me? Why did you let us go? You went and never looked back. Why? Every father or mother has got questions to answer. And if you're not answerable to the child, one day you will be answerable to God Almighty who created you.
Please send your comments not to my phone, because now that people have seen me read these too, I'm getting more comments directly to my number by those who know me. And my number, send them to myctvgh on Facebook and on YouTube. That's myctvgh on Facebook and on YouTube. My special guest is Tommy Annan Forson, broadcast legend, master of ceremonies, comedian, and media trainer who has uplifted so many to become great in broadcasting in Ghana and elsewhere. So, Tommy, let me ask you, if you had a chance to pick a new career starting now, what would it be and why? This is a Miss Ghana question.
Sorry about that, but you know, when you asked me this question, you said this is a Miss Ghana question.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, you were emceeing one of the Miss Ghana, what do you call it? And you asked her, if you were the Minister of Environment, what would you do to keep Accra clean? And she said, I'll buy more dustbin bins.
Oh,
I would never forget that. I would buy more. Well,
look, let me tell you, when you're on stage at Miss Ghana, you know, it's just like being a presenter who gets to sit at a console for the first time. You're trembling.
I tell you.
And then you think the whole world is watching you. The pressure is too much. The pressure is too much. Seriously.
You know, but I can never forget that. Just a method that's been beans, you know. But anyway.
So if you could start a new career all over again, now.
I would want to be a broadcaster.
Whoa.
I would want to be because, like you said, your duty is to inform, to educate, and entertain. It is one big area where people are consoled by you. You give advice. A friend of yours loses his mother or father. You don't meet the person directly, but you're able to console the person through radio. You're able to get the person to be protected with your love and care, knowing what he or she is going through. A lot of people are going through hell. Some have lost their parents through accidents and stuff like that. But when they listen to you, KKD, you uplift them. Not necessarily with all the words of God, but you use some words, even biblical sayings, that look, God gives and God takes. When you are sad, that is where time moves so slow.
It's true.
But when you're having a good time,
it's gone.
You know, like I do a country program on ZFM. I do 3 hours. And people say, Cecilia, 3 hours are soon. Tommy, can you do another hour?
They're having a good time, so they don't realize it.
You see, so you bring people together. You bring the country together. You create love for people. I mean, through me, a lot of people have gotten married. And I'm sure the same thing with you. So your responsibility is huge, but it is not seen. Because you are the one who is creating that love and understanding for people. You bring people who are fighting over trivial issues back together. You've not seen it, but imagine it, because radio, like I said, is imagery. So you imagine that, look, this person is having a fight because of this. All right, so let's handle it this way. Once you're able to do that and you bring people together, people have you in their hearts and say, enye KKD anka, ana enye Tommy anka, yeni hande. So I would always want to bring people together, get people to love. You can even stop hatred to a certain point. What is it that we are preaching today? Elections are coming in how many days? What are we preaching? Peace. But if you don't force that message down their throats to say that, look, one presenter in Burundi, Rwanda,
started a war.
A whole war, one presenter. And so if you, a presenter in Ghana, can say, let's elect whoever we want, but in a very peaceful manner, people will listen to you. People will listen to you. And when they take that advice, they hold you in high esteem. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, I would want to become a broadcaster, even though, KKD, to be very honest, is not a job that fetches money. Because people like Larry King, when they retired, they were living in comfort until he died. Here you are still a hustler. But it comes with what? Prestige. Look at the way I was received by staff of City TV. Class
CTV, but it's also City TV.
Yeah.
Actually, we registered as City TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but because of City FM, we decided to keep it as CTV.
So I walk in here and they welcome me like a king. Even to an embarrassing point. I'm supposed to sign a book. The ladies say, no, you're different. KKD sees me, is like, wow, here comes this man. He hugs me. So you see, all these things...
money can buy them.
Money cannot buy. You walk into some place and people see you, say, oh, please, let me do this for you. Let me help you with this, while people are in the queue. You walk into a bank, they'll come and take your check. Well, nowadays, everything is electronic anyway. But in those days, you walk into a bank and people walk up to you. I've joined the queue. People pull me out of the queue. So all these little things go to tell you something, that you are important in the eyes of society. Not just because you speak and speak well, but you speak to people who you comfort, console, make them laugh, make them cry, all sorts of things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tommy Annan Forson, a great broadcaster who creates scenarios in his mind and uses them to educate, inform, entertain, and more importantly, uplift. only on Master of the Game. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back with you another day with another mover, shaker, icon, or legend. My name is Dakwa, Kwesi J. Dakwa. Now we've come to the end of the story. We'll leave you with God and respect and give God the glory.